Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Demystifying Personalization. Joining us today is Saket Kumar Jha. Saket is the Chief Revenue Officer, Emerging Markets at Netcore. He has played a pivotal role in the global expansion of Netcore. He carries in-depth understanding of the martech space and is passionate about helping brands and personalize their engagement. Thank you for joining us today, Saket.
Pleasure is all mine, Sanjay.
Saket, I want to start this interview, and I've in the previous interviews also we have spoken to marketers from the primary industry, and we've asked them the opening questions always been about how the global pandemic has affected their business. What I want to ask you is because you are constantly talking to marketers, what are some trends that you have noticed during this period, and what are some challenges marketers are facing, and how is technology closing that gap?
See, I think obviously during the COVID, we have seen a lot of things changing. And I think some of the trends which we were observing was D2C, direct to consumer kind of opened up. Offline to online got filled up. Adoption to online purchase across the customers gone up significantly. Focus from the e-commerce side of it or online player was more on the profitability side of it, considering the scenario around. And we also saw a lot of investments going around process improvement, enhancements, revamping of the backend technology, which was kind of, they were not able to do it in the normal times. And it kind of also opened a lot of scope for brands to do a lot of experiments. So that is, these are the things which I would say were the key trends which we observed. And talking about the challenges which marketers faced, right? I think omni-channel marketing has been one of the challenge which is faced by the marketers across. Somewhere data is in silo, they are not able to stitch it together, they are not able to give that kind of communication which they should be giving. Optimizing costs has been one of the challenge, considering there has been a lot of focus on the cost cutting that you know.
Yeah.
Like since most of the people were work from home, they were forced to work from home, a lot of human dependency came in executing a lot of engagement campaigns.
True.
And I think staying relevant was also one of the things which were kind of marketers were looking at how do they stay relevant during these times.
Absolutely. I think from a point, from my point of view, I think obviously from whatever you say, we understand that digital transformation as a process has been fast tracked, and especially when you look at this part of the world, the digital presence was already there, but now it has only been fast tracked, to an early adoption or quicker adoption of technology. When you look at, say, for retailers, for example, let me give you a specific example of, when you talk about retailers, where do you see how do you see brands strengthen their online presence and complementing with their offline retail channels?
Yeah, that's very interesting point, Sanjay. See, I would say it should start off with starting to capture the data. And I think that's where somewhere I see a lot of brands faltering and they are not capturing the right consumer level data. And that also used to be on the user level. While there are a lot of platforms which gives a unified view of the user level interaction with the brands. But I think capturing it at the user level is very event. Let's say user events like page browse, add to cart, product being clicked, all of these needs to first get captured. So that is very important. Platform should also be able to kind of help you in terms of doing right set of segments, which is relevant for your set of customers. And it should be very granular in nature. It should not be merely doing segmentation based on attribute. It should be also able to do it on the behavior of the customers on your app and on your web. Another area where we are seeing that brands will get lot of benefit is customer data platform, wherein it helps you in terms of stitching the offline and online data. And that will also help you in terms of coming up with the right set of segments, which is important for you to target.
Right.
And then obviously the right channel of communication also should be a part of it, so that you know what is the preferred channel of communication for your customers.
Yeah.
These are the things which is important, Sanjay.
Excellent. I think when you look at the overall evolving landscape and the rate at which it's growing right now, and marketers have this whole new world of opportunities that has opened up for them to be creative And I think personalization is one such tool that they rely on. And I just want to ask you, how or what does personalization, what role does personalization play in today's highly competitive digital era, where brands are trying to capitalize on that zero moment of truth?
Yeah, I think first thing I would say during these times, I think personalization is directly helping in terms of increasing the conversion, Sanjay, and that is the paramount thing as of now. And with the real-time recommendations and hyper-personalization, you're also giving a right customer experience, which customers are looking from you. And if you kind of give a unique experience to you customer at every page that you go through, a customer goes through your website or through your app, through a channel of any communication which you're receiving from the brand, if you are getting that kind of like kind of feeling special kind of experience, that is really helping a lot in terms of capitalizing what do we say as a zero moment of truth, right?
True. True. No, I completely agree with you. When personalization as a term sounds very simple, but when you have to execute it at scale, it can be really daunting.
Right.
Yeah, so I know. I mean, that brings me to the next question, and obviously, Netcore is one of the leading solution providers in the martech space. And for people who are watching the video, I am not saying this because this series is presented by Netcore, but you will see a lot of reports out there from the likes of Gartner's saying that Netcore is one of the leading solution providers in the martech space. So let me clarify that. But I want to ask you, is Saket, you help a lot of brands with their personalization strategy. You have clientele all over the world. I mean, definitely you have a lot of case studies, but obviously we can't sit and go through all of them. But any personalization strategy, any notable statistics that you want to share with us of how Netcore has helped brands in their personalization strategy?
Yeah, let me give you a brief about our platform, Sanjay. Kind of that kind of sets the right context to this question.
Yeah.
So we have built a AI-powered personalization platform, which is helping brands in giving right set of recommendations across the buying cycle of a customer. So whether you are on your home page, product listing page, add to cart page, or any communication which you are receiving over an email or over a push notification, we are personalizing each and everything based on the consumer behavior.
Right.
And that's where our promise is that we are giving 20% better recommendation, because the kind of data that we gather across the touch points of a customer is humongous. And that's where AI kicks off. And I think all the layers of algorithms which we have put in is kind of helping brands in giving right set of recommendation. And it is also helping in terms of if you look at the click rate, we
Yeah.
are invariably giving 80 to 100% uplift in the CTR rates on all the pages, almost all the pages. And it is also kind of looks into the final conversion, which is the final goal which every brand looks at. So we are kind of promising 8 to 13% of uplift in conversion from the current conversion which they are having.
Those are
And
those are really impressive numbers.
another area where you will see, which is kind of which is very I would say unique about our platform, it is very easy to integrate, and you can see results in 5 weeks.
Right.
So that these are the things which we really promise from our platform side of it. And I think the number of the conversion which I have talked about, we have a lot of testimonials on our website, Sanjay, across the globe, where we have given uplift in tune of 11%, 12% across the globe.
That's very interesting, Saket. I mean, these are some great, impressive stats that you shared with us, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this video right now would be interested. A lot of marketers watching this video right now would be interested to understanding how Netcore can help them. That brings me to a very interesting question. And when you look at the overall landscape, the martech landscape of how it's evolved from 2011 to 2020 now. In 2011, I think we were at roughly about 150 martech solution providers, and now in 2020 it's 8,000 plus. We're seeing a lot of consolidation from the likes of Salesforce and Oracles of the world. But are we going to see more players, or what do you think, is there going to be more consolidation?
So I do see a lot of companies coming up. I think there are a lot of things in the periphery which is getting built. While I think the core platforms have been built and has been there for a decade now.
Yeah.
And you are seeing that emergence. So I really look at some more companies to come in, catering to some niche requirements. or in terms of giving some additional capability. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of companies are going to complement the current platforms.
True.
And that's where you will see a lot of large automation players will kind of acquire these companies who are helping in building this capability.
Right.
And vendors also might look like, they also might look at acquiring some of the companies for inorganic growth.
Right.
That also could be another area which I see brand will be looking at.
Right. And I think this brings me to my last question. With so much technology out there, and we ran this martech state of martech report survey with leading CMOs in the region, and we asked them what are the challenges that they face while evaluating technology. I think
Yeah.
one important part or one important mention that they made was there's too much information download, for them to process. Or and the other one was, where do they start from? So I want to ask you is, what are some tips that you can give marketers, while they're evaluating their martech stacks or they're evaluating technology for their marketing function?
Very valid point, and I do believe that the market is very cluttered, Sanjay. But I think sticking to the basics will really help marketers to look at the vendor which they are looking at. So first of all, they should look at a partner rather than a vendor who can help them in adopting to the technology. It's not merely about taking a product and kind of using it for your requirement and trying to learn everything on your own. I see the adoption playing a very vital role in the adoption in terms of how do we use the platform, what are the right use cases, how to run proper journeys, which is relevant for the brand. And the second point is, how do I look at a vendor who can own up my KPIs? It is no longer about, yeah, that's where the technology is, that's where my product is, you use it for your benefit. And so wanted to look at a partner who can have the skin in the game, who can own up your KPIs. And it's really good that if both the brands kind of jointly own the KPIs, which the brand needs to own up.
Right.
That is second point. And I think third point would be having some level of flexibility in the platform to implement use cases which you are looking at.
Right.
That is very important, because vertical by vertical, there are things which you may require, which is not readily available in the platform, which is there, but the platform and the vendor should be flexible enough to implement some of your use cases. That is very important.
Right. Right. On that note, Saket, I want to thank you for joining us today. I think we had some great conversations, great insights that you have shared with us today. And any closing remarks that you would want to share?
I think all of us are waiting for COVID to kind of go by. I think we have already, I would say, gone through the toughest time.
True.
Really looking forward for a brighter future. That's what I would say, Sanjay.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone is hoping for.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking the time out today and joining us. It was great speaking with you as always. Thank you once again.
Same here, Sanjay. Bye.